ChokeOuT!
That range is considered normal, but really for the preventative aspects of vitamin D, your level needs to be 70 or above. So I always, in my practice, I always check everyone's vitamin D levels just to make sure and to decrease any future risks. And vitamin D, the recommended daily intake right now is 400 IU per day, but that is not nearly enough. Usually you need at least between 1,000 to 5,000 IU of vitamin D a day, and the 400 that they recommend is really it's ridiculous. So I suggest having vitamin D levels tested if you haven't had them tested yet.
Can you go over the amount? I mean, is it like too much, like you harm?
Yeah, so vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, so your body does store it, but you need to take a lot of it. For people who are like actively going through cancer treatments, they can be taking up to 15,000 IU of vitamin D a day. But of course, at those doses, you need to be monitored and have that level checked. But I've been prescribing doses between like 2,000 and 5,000 IU for years, and I've never seen the level go crazy.
What about D3 that I hear about too?
Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. Yeah, this is vitamin D3.
D3?
Yeah. And with this, like, vitamin D is added to a lot of foods. It's another marketing strategy the dairy industry uses, that everything's been fortified with vitamin D, but again, really low levels. And ideally, we get vitamin D from the sun, but now we spend most of our time indoors. I'd say about 80% of our time is inside now, because we're sleeping at night inside, our offices are inside, so we're just not getting the proper vitamin D exposure. So yeah, I always suggest having that tested.
Still absorb vitamin D during sunscreen?
Yeah, you still can. It'll just take longer. Yeah. But then you don't have the increased risk of burning. So there's a very fine line with sunscreen versus burning. But I think it is good to wear sunscreen. But again, sunscreen has a lot of chemicals in it. So again, like, there's natural versions of sunscreen out there, but they're usually thick, and you'll just have like a white paste on your face. But Burt's Bee is one now that's really safe, natural sunscreen that works quite well. I think that's SPF 15. And there's also ones, like if you see hypoallergenic on it, that'll also be a bit safer. Okay. And again, the environmental working group, awesome information for sunscreen.
I also have been reading a lot about like using shea butter or argan oil for sunscreen. Is that
shea butter does have natural SPF. I think the natural SPF is 8.
Oh, it's low.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 8.
I just read yesterday that they can no longer say waterproof. So it's no longer waterproof. So after you go in the water, they're suggesting for you to reapply because it's no longer waterproof. I think it's water resistant, and they're saying SPF 30 and above. But anything over 30, if you're paying a lot more for it, it only adds like 1% or 2%. So if it says like SPF 50, 30 is just as good. So those are the two things that I got from that article. It was like, one, not waterproof, and two, anything over 30 really isn't anything over 30. So thank you.
So this is basically just a quick summary of the things we talked about. So eat a whole foods diet, so rich in fruits and vegetables, as colorful as you can get. With every meal, about half of your plate should be vegetables, and primarily the leafy green vegetables. So the broccoli, the kale, the spinach, arugula, things like that. Avoid any food that you could find in a corner store, because that's usually the packaged, the processed foods. Avoiding plastics as much as you can. Throw away a plastic water bottle. Get a filtration system for your tap. Never, ever, ever heat food in plastic. plastic, there's a few different options. The one I like is called Anchor, and Anchor Hawking, and they make really great, like they're glass containers of all different sizes, and they have leak-proof lids. They work really well. Also, eat organic. And eating organic, read the environmental working group, the Dirty 12, the Fresh 12, and also when it comes to the meat, the dairy products, super important to eat those organic, hormone-free, antibiotic-free. Maintain a healthy weight. Like I said before, that obesity is correlated with an increased risk of cancer and a decreased survival rate after being diagnosed with cancer. Avoid the use of many different household products. So if you have carpet, try to rip it out. If you can't do that, get a really good air filter. All of those normal cleaning supply products, just throw out to replace with green ones. 7th generation, Mrs. Meyer's method. There's a lot of them out there now, and Environmental Working Group has a lot of research on those, and Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, you can usually find pretty good options. Also check your personal care products to see what carcinogens are in them, and make the switch to healthier ones. Avoid the process, which I said, and make sure you're getting enough vitamin D. So have your vitamin D level tested. Always make sure it's at least above 70. Yeah. So that's basically it.
What about fish oil? I've been taking that.
Yeah, fish oil.
Krill.
Yeah, krill oil. Fish oils are really good. They're mostly because they have the essential fatty acids and the omega-3. And omega-3 is a very strong anti-inflammatory. And because of its anti-inflammatory effect, it's going to decrease the risk of cancer. Because sometimes, cancer and inflammation, they go hand in hand with each other. So by decreasing your inflammation, you're decreasing the risk of developing cancer. Yeah. And for fish oils, it should be probably about 3 grams per day.
3 grams. And what's the difference between that and krill oil?
Yeah, so krill oil is something that's just really gained attention probably this past year. And what they're saying is that krill oil, like the krill shrimp, are found in really cold waters. And because of that, they're forced to produce more fatty acids so their cells don't freeze. So they just have a higher concentration.
So, I mean, should you take both?
No, not necessarily. Sometimes with the krill oil, though, you don't have to take as much as you would with the fish oil because it's just a bit more concentrated.
I think it's a better source for the omega-3s and stuff like that. They said that the krill oil is a higher source than just eating fish and all that. So you would get more concentrated fatty amino acids from the krill. So if you just concentrate on that alone, I think you would get all your fatty oils that you would need from that source.
And then there are some really good resources. And there's Integrated Health Clinic. This was one of my professors in school. And his practice now is 100% focused on cancer care. Tons of information on his website. There's also the OMCNP, which is also like an integrated cancer organization. There's FABNO, F-A-B-N-O, which is also a lot of information for integrated cancer care. Then there's just a few other websites on there as well. So do you guys have any other questions?
How did you get interested in this? I'm curious.
In naturopathic medicine or?
Yeah.
Basically, I always knew I wanted to be in healthcare. So when I was making my decision on which direction to go, I went and spent a few days with a medical doctor in his practice and also a naturopathic doctor. And I was just blown away by the naturopathic doctor. You know, I was there for an initial visit. He spent got it. Yeah. www.drkristy.com. Dr-Kristy.com. Jenna knows it.
Good job. You rock. Thank you. Yay.
ChokeOuT Cancer.